Hello. Well, yesterday we went through the list of words and we listened to our first impressions. We absorbed those words, we took them in, we allowed ourselves to respond to them, find images, where were the images placed in relationship to ourselves and our bodies, what impressions were those words making in our mind's eye. Now, the next phase, which is really important to work on, is the senses. What senses are evoked when personalizing those words? So this is the beginning of the process. So first impressions is the beginning of the process of personalizing, embodying, making words your own, based on the fact, a very simple fact, that you're evolving and developing and working through your personal response to these words. Not just glossing over them, not just saying them because they're constructed in a certain way, and not generalizing, which is the most important thing. So what we'll do, the exercise now, is to pick one of your senses, and let's say our sense of smell. And when we come to the phrase summer's day, a summer's day, what sense of smell? What smells come to your mind? Can you actually smell something? Now, to sensitize your sense of smell, just to focus your attention on that sense, maybe just smell your hands. They may be the scent of your own skin or some soap that maybe you washed your hands with, some deodorant or aftershave on the back of your hands. And just try that. Just try smelling your hands or smelling your collar. There's a lot of scent around our necks. There's pheromones there too, so you can get a sense of smell of your own body, just to sensitize that sense, your sense of smell, which is part of the olfactory senses. So summer's day. Now I'll share one with you. I can actually smell the smell of roses. And they are the roses in my mum's garden, of all places, in Perth, Western Australia. So it's a very particular scent that comes to me. They were just outside the front door of our home, my mother's home, and when you went out, there was a whole bed of roses there planted, all different colours. My mum loved roses. And on a summer's day, a Perth summer's day in Western Australia, they would waft in the scent of those roses. And so I've associated a warm, blue-skied summer's day in Perth with a gentle, warm breeze. So that's another sense coming in, the warmth on my skin and the breeze blowing that in, coupled with the sense of scent of roses. So when I say summer's day, they're all the senses, the sense and the sensual experience that I have associated with summer's day and those particular words. And they are mine. You can see how particular and personal those, what we call choices, are. What you saw me do there when I closed my eyes and allowed myself to use my sense of smell memory, my sense of smell memory, so I use my sense of smell to trigger a memory of a scent which is associated with the word summer's day, my personal choice, and it's only mine. It's not, it's not your mum. Your mum didn't plant those roses outside your house. My mum did. And so there's a whole raft of emotional connections to that, how I feel about my mother as another choice. So my mum comes into my association of summer's day, plus those particular roses and roses that I looked at on different days, on different summers, the warm breeze, and particularly that scent. And for me, and I don't know about you, but for a lot of actors, the sense of smell is one of the strongest triggers as a choice for a sense memory, which gives us an emotional connection to the words. And it's purely personal. It is mine. And so when I say summer's day, they're the emotions that are evoked and the sense and the senses that are evoked for me. And it's no longer just a phrase, 2 words on a page locked in that has no meaning. It now has a personal meaning to me and relationship. Now, I cannot say a summer's day now without going through that process in a split second and seeing and sensing all those things I've described to you. Now, this is the actor's process. It's not any more or any less than that when we're making these associations with words and turning words into the poetry of our own soul. So they become personally poetic images. And in a way, we steal them from Shakespeare. I mean, Shakespeare inspired them by writing the words, but then we personalize and own them for ourselves. And that's what we mean by ownership of the word. It's associated with your own poetry, your own soul, your own personal experience. Now, this takes time. And that's ultimately the difference between a professional actor and a performer and a reciter of poems and an amateur. It takes time. This is part of the rehearsal process. And when, remember, if we do a Shakespeare play and you're working on a speech, say, to be or not to be, or tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps on this petty pace, whatever the speech may be, we will be working on that speech and going through this particular dropping in process of the words and impressions, first impressions, second impressions, choice hunts, looking for choices, using our senses. Now that's only one sense. That's the sense of smell, the olfactory sense. Now we will do this on all the senses. And then the genius is in choice. Which choice do you make? So summer's day might not be the sense of smell, it might be the sense of heat. And you already can see that there's a gestural connection, which is the next thing to do with the words and the sensory experience of those words that will inform how you embody in gesture and how you express that through your what we call the actor's instrument, which is ourselves, our minds, our bodies, our psychology, our emotions, our intellect, and gesture. So what I want you to do in this next part of the exercise, and let's stick with the sense of smell. If you want, you can choose sense of touch. Sense of touch would include your whole body, your touch with your whole body. So when I sensed the breeze, the warm breeze on my skin, the warm breeze was touching my face, my cheeks. So I was touching the wind with my cheeks. And that may inform my gesture when I say a summer's day. You see how it was integrated? I was touching the breeze with my cheeks. Now this is all your internal work, and when you perform the poem or the speech, the audience don't necessarily, obviously the listener, the receiver, won't know that you're doing the breeze on your cheeks, or they may, because that's what's happening to you. It's organically happening. So your face will gesture as you feel when I say summer's day, and the bright sun is in my eyes and the gentle breeze is touching my cheeks, and then the scent, summer's day. Those are all micro gestures that will ripple through your expression in front of an audience, which makes it real. Because that's what we do when we're trying to discover our own words, when we're recalling a memory and we're telling a story, or we're recalling or writing our own poems. We go through this same process. But when you have a poem or a sonnet or a speech, we have to go in reverse and start with the inspiration, which for Shakespeare, who chose summer's day for these particular words, and I'm giving away the sonnet now, as you probably have already guessed. It's the last phrase of the first line of Sonnet 18. Now, how and why did he choose Summer's Day? What was the inspiration for that? And what was Shakespeare's Summer's Day? We will never know, but he will have a relationship to it. And being a human being, it's probably not unlike my personal experience of Summer's Day or yours. But I can only express my Summer's Day if I want to be authentic and true and real and express through my instrument my truth. So go through and pick any words, any phrases, and go through that process, that particular exercise. Okay, use two senses. Use the sense of smell and the sense of touch, seeing as I've demonstrated those directly to you. Good luck.